right, so we're going to do question 3 on the quadratic modeling worksheet, which is question 9 in section 5-7 in your textbook. So say you borrow some money from your parents to buy a used motorcycle and agree to pay it off at $53 per week. After 11 weeks, you still owe them $1,643. So first we want to write a particular equation expressing the amount you still owe in terms of the number of weeks. So let's do that. So our input is going to be the number of weeks, and the output is going to be the amount you still owe. Since we pay as the number of weeks go by, then we should think about this. This should be a decreasing function. We have 1 point. After 11 weeks, we still owe $1,643. And our rate of change is constant, and it is negative 53, because each time 1 week goes by, the amount we still owe is decreasing by 53. Constant rate of change should make you think of a linear function. So here we have a point, and we have our slope, which is our rate of change. So we get y minus 1,643. It is negative 53 times x minus 11. This is not the only way you can find an equation for this function, but here is one. Okay, so that was part A. So let's go back to our worksheet and see what the next question asks. So it says, explain why the amount you still owe is a linear function of the number of weeks. Okay, so this is what I was just saying. Linear functions are functions with a constant rate of change, and this has a constant rate of change. Every time 1 week goes by, the amount we still owe is 53. So a constant rate of change. It changes by a constant that we add or subtract. And so that's why this is a linear function. C says, how much will you still owe 20 weeks after purchasing the motorcycle? So that means that our input would be 20, and our output would be what we're looking for. Okay, so let's go there. And we have our formula is y minus 1,643 equals negative 53 times x minus 11. And so we're going to let x equal 20, and we want to know what y is, so we have y minus 1643 equals negative 53 times 20 minus 11. Okay, so y minus 1643 equals negative 53 times 9. Okay, so right here I want you to notice that negative 53 times 9, after 11 weeks he had 1643 left to pay. And so we could think about, well, there's 9 weeks until we've gone a total of 20. So I could take 9 times 53 and subtract that from 1643. That's exactly what's going to happen here. We're going to end up with y equals 1643 minus 53 times 9. And we're going to do this calculation, and we get 1643 minus 477, which is 1,000. Let's see if I can get this without 156. Let me go ahead and do that on my calculator too. Whoops, that should be 1,166. So we would say after 20 weeks, you still owe $1,166. Okay, so this should make sense. The amount still owed is less than the amount owed after 11 weeks. It is 53 times 9. That's our amount less than 1643 that we owe. Okay, so again, let's go back to our worksheet to find out what our next question is. Okay, so what we want to do is, when will the amount you owe first drop below $200? Okay, so let's try that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our equation, and we want to know, when is y first going to be below 200? So we're going to take this model and we're going to substitute y equals 200. So we get 200 minus 1643 equals negative 53 times x minus 11. And so we get negative 1443 equals negative 53 times x minus 11. Okay, we're solving for x, so now we're going to divide both sides by negative 53. And we get x minus 11 equals, that's approximately 27.226. Okay. So that tells us, I'm going to add 11 to both sides. It tells us that x is approximately, 38.226. Now, we need to think about this realistically. This is someone paying week after week. It's not a continuous payment. We pay the first week and the second week and the third week and the fourth week. So, realistically, this is going to say that at 39 weeks, the amount still owed is less than 200. At 38 weeks, it was not less than 200, but at 39 weeks, it's going to be less than 200. So at 39 weeks, the amount owed first drops below $200. So we also want to find the dollars intercept and the weeks intercept. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, with our formula here. So let's think about what the dollars intercept is. When we have an x-intercept, that's what happens when y is 0. And when we have a y-intercept, that's the value when x equals 0. So when we're looking for a dollars intercept, that means that the number of weeks is 0. So if the number of weeks is 0, that's our x value. We get y minus 1643 equals negative 53 times negative 11. So that tells us y equals 1,643 plus 53 times 11. Okay, which is 2,226. Okay. So if we think about this realistically, this is saying the number of weeks that have gone by is 0. The amount still owed is $2,226. So what is this? Remember what's happening? There's a loan that's happening. And so this is the amount that you still owed before it was paid back. So we would say this is the total amount borrowed is $2,226. That's what the dollars intercept means. Okay, and then we also want to know what the weeks intercept is. So going through our formula, weeks intercept is going to occur when the amount owed is 0. So that's our y value. So 0 minus 1643 equals negative 53 times x minus 11. Okay, so I'm asking, what are the number of weeks when the amount owed is 0? So we get negative 1643 equals negative 53 times x minus 11. We're going to divide both sides by 53. So if I do that, 1643 divided by 53 is 31. So 31 equals x minus 11. So 42 equals x. So there are 42 weeks when the amount owed is 0. In other words, the loan will be paid off after 42 weeks. Okay, so almost 10 months. 42 weeks. There we go. Okay. All right. So, this is the end of this video. And lastly, I'm going to do the fourth. I'm going to make one more video that represents the fourth question.